Tyler's mad about my finger. Seriously, no. Drove fit. This guy flipping off. My sign language is no good here. No good here. What's up, Eminem? Damn, I guess you can't change it once you're in it, huh?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Here.
I got stuck in this thing.
Approval of the agenda, the only thing with, on the agenda is the computer, general code for cameras, we already approved that. That's the ones for the valves and the water tanks. We have to approve it, like you said, they go with the cost.
And, I'd like to put on there, I guess, under old. I'd like to put on there, I guess, under old, the Bellotti line.
What line?
The Bellotti line, that goes down to better than at that house, for sure, there's things. Loading, sorry.
With, changes on the agenda, the motion to accept.
The agenda with the addition of the vote line as written.
Yes.
Approval of regular meeting minutes for October 3rd, 2023.
I make a motion to approve the regular meetings for October 3rd, 2023.
Second.
Yes.
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 Approval of meeting minutes for October 17th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve all the special meetings for October 17th, 2023.
Second.
Yes.
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 Okay, before we start with guests, the attorney would like to read to the citizens of Aguilar.
foundation here for what we're doing with going back to public comment. Typically, public comment isn't meant as a question and answer session, but it is a time for citizens to say their piece, whatever that may be. And again, understanding that the board can't make a decision because of the public comment that you make, because there's laws that require any board decisions be noticed on the agenda. So that way they can't bring up topics at the last minute without the right people being here to either confront those topics or make a statement. The best public comments are those comments that relate to something that's on an agenda item. Otherwise, you're talking and there's really nothing the board can do about it. I just wanted to kind of lay that out there because I think it's important that the board does want to hear from the community, and so they are adding public comment back to it. Just understand that it's not a question and answer session, and it's not useful for your time if you're just if you want to. As I think you are also aware, on the agenda today, we are going to have some discussions with some community members over issues that these members and other members of the community think are important and need to be discussed in the public setting, and the board has again agreed to that. So I'm going to read this real quick just so you understand kind of what the decorum is going to be for tonight. So it's important for the order of this meeting, the function of the government, that the presiding officer in a board of trustee meeting is the mayor, maintain a meeting where all voices are heard, all business is handled, and no one is intimidated, and there's respect for all points of view. In the event any person significantly obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action, verbal utterance, or any other means, the mayor, as allowed by statute, may require such person to cease such behavior and or leave the trustee chambers or the meeting room. Should anyone fail to comply with the admonishment, it will be considered to be behaving with an intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting. Mayor may request an officer, a sheriff's deputy, or other person with authority be summoned, and we do have sheriffs here. Thank you. We all, both sides, enjoy having deputies present. Thank you very much for your time tonight, officers. So we wouldn't have to summon a sheriff, but the individual could be removed, and the sheriff's department could consider criminal summons for violations of state law that prohibit the disrupting of public meetings. So everyone's aware, anybody wants to discuss it at a later time, there are laws that require or that prevent disrupting of lawful meetings. I would just turn your attention to CRS 189108, CRS 189110, and then in more extreme form, CRS 188102. All those are state statutes that allow the lawful assembly of legislative sessions and prevent a person from disrupting a lawful assembly. With that, I think we're ready to start.
Yeah, at this time, guest, first one is Vernon Thorne. Okay, Vernon, you have 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is gonna take longer than 5 minutes. You did tell me this will take time, but I was studying this for time.
It's up to the board. You want to use longer than the 5?
I thought it was 15.
No, it's 5 for write-in, when you write in, and 3 when you do it right in here. So, well,
Get started, we can,
go ahead.
get started. Has anyone, before, has everyone read today's paper? Watch extras for whoever has them. Anyone else? Have you read it? I'm here to talk about election fraud and the way the elections are handled and conflicts of interest, who's running the elections. there's, I filed a court request to get information to help everyone better understand what's going on tonight. But it seems like I got a bunch of double things in it. I've got, the election laws by statute that complete things. You know, that none of this was in anything that I asked for in court request. I asked for certified, copies or certification on the judges. I've asked for, the meetings, the minutes of the meetings, which came out, what I received was basically just, the thermal part, some empty 3 and 4, and, that really you can't hear. You know, one of them, the meeting was 37 minutes long because I had the original thing to it, and all I received was 9 minutes of it.
What meeting was that?
That was one where the code enforcement came up here and trashed me for like 20 minutes. And then Mary Grissom come up and done the same thing. You know, and even in these rules that I did receive from you on this, and this is part of my complaint for the election fraud. All of this happened to me here, and all but you two were on the council, and you let people come up here, call them misogynist, went through a whole list of things that you were supposed to investigate privately, and then did not give me a chance to one. You actually told that one that she could say whatever she wanted, and she didn't have to answer anything I said. But you let that happen in public, just before the election. To me, that's part of the fraud because of the way that you handled it, and the whole council approved of it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What you're saying, what you're saying is that I did something to mess up your chances, or what are you saying?
I'm saying from here to here, all of you did. Everyone that you let come up here, and you're the mayor, and you were supposed to investigate any charges against anyone on the council, and you were supposed to investigate. You even had the nerve to tell me in the council here at the meeting that you were investigating here publicly. Then you let Mary Grissom and Ann Castillo talk. And they read a page of things that done nothing but trash me. Every bit of it was a lie. And Mary Grissom never had talked to me. And that's why I tried to get people to say, but you didn't give me a chance to defend myself, and none of the council would speak up either. This was all lies. And then you let the people that work here do the same thing. And you know that's wrong. Come to this meeting and spend half an hour trashing me.
So basically, you're getting off the subject on your election stuff.
No, I'm not.
That you requested.
I am not getting off on the subject. It's all part of it because you set the election up for me to lose.
It's a little hard to believe.
That's the attorney.
What's the question?
Well, I'm saying that by him letting people come in here on things he was supposed to investigate privately and discuss with me, as the only option that he had to do, just before the election, these people let people come up here and lie about me, and all kinds of, you wouldn't believe the stuff that they said. These people do, and most people sitting behind me were here when this happened. And that was just before the election, didn't give me a chance to respond. That was setting me up to lose.
What, was there an agenda item that had people on it, was it public comment, what was talking about?
One time they were on the agenda, the other 2 times, it was code enforcement guy, he was on the agenda to speak about, building maintenance and things that he does, but then he goes into this reading the letter against me. But they done it right before the elections. If you look from, October, November, January, February, those 4 meetings, they set me up to not win the election. That is part of election fraud. See, you're saying no, but you don't.
I'm unaware, I'm sorry, I was not here and I'm unaware of, what the ongoings during that time, but it sounds like it sounds understandable that you'd be upset about it, because it sounds like a personal attack where you didn't have an opportunity to respond, but I don't know, I wasn't here. If you were sitting on the board, it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you were appointed to an empty seat.
Yes,
And then there was a recall election,
yes.
and now we're talking about, at some point, there was some public, what you're saying is there's some sort of public slander or libel against you that you were not able to respond to, is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
So typically, libel, or, libelous or slander is dealt with, there's nothing, obviously, that I can do unilaterally. The board, of course, can, I don't know what they would do about it now, other than apologize, but there's no, I don't know where there would be a conflict of per se fraud in that. But I do certainly understand that that's upset you, but I don't know what I can do about it right now. But we can look into it, I understand why you did pull the board request for that, then now that makes sense.
Okay, and this whole thing to me is, and I've had all kinds of advice from the lieutenant of the sheriff's office, everyone, that I should file a civil suit. I am not here to file any lawsuits. I do not want to do that. All I want to do is the next election is coming up. I want a fair election. Tyra absolutely had all kinds of reasons for her being the director of this election to be a conflict of interest. And this started even further back where she filed a 90-page restraining order on me to keep me from taking that seat. That was brought up in an open meeting. You guys just blew it off. You thought, well, this is nothing. But that stays on my record for what, 3 years? That anytime anyone, and my attorney found it for me, on a charge that was absolutely false, it took me to court. And all of these things were planned
Were you
before.
charged with that?
Excuse me?
Were you formally charged in court with it?
Are you part of town council? Or are you supposed to just be here and write until you ask a question? And I didn't ask a question. An 80-page restraining order was filed against me. It went against my character that was not heard in court, and it was done to keep me from taking a seat here. So these attacks on me started from the month before I took the seat. And I understand the recall election, I understand how it went, and it's democracy, that's what happened, okay? I'm not complaining that part of it, but I am complaining the way that the whole thing was handled. I have receipts here from 2 judges for the one election and 3 judges for the other. And one of the judges, who he's not in here, is Lee Garcia. And whenever I went to receipts of the payment for the judges, he never got paid. So who did they pay this other money to?
That, you're talking about the recount or the general, or regular
That
election?
was the actual election. Now, the election rules, and this is part of it, the election rules says that the director for the election should be voted on by the council, which did not happen. The judges are supposed to be picked 15 days before the election, and they're supposed to be certified. Lee Garcia was actually walking past and was grabbing drug in there that night. That's why I asked for certification of the judges. They're supposed to be certified, and then the vote, after it's certified, is supposed to be turned over to the county clerk. I talked to the county clerk, that hasn't been done. So this whole thing to me is a fraud.
Well, on that heartburn where Mr. Garcia was one of the judges,
Mhm.
He was told to be a judge, he'd have to sit through a little course, which he said he did. So he was supposed to be run off the street and brought in as a judge.
When did it happen? Because it should be record of this certification you're talking about, which I requested that is not in any of this.
Dates I couldn't tell you, I'd have to look it up.
Okay, now Tyler, you know the date?
Everything's in the ballot box, like I said.
And that's another thing, from the beginning of this, and we went through this whole FORA request that I'll go into later on that. We went through all this, and the information that I should have received as a candidate was a list of the people who voted. Why is that so hard to give to me? Why is it so hard to give me a certification of the elections? I didn't get this, so he handed it to me on his way in. It was supposed, he thought he was under the impression it was with this mess. But I've run into that with this council all the time. You wait until the last minute, and not you. You guys waited till the last minute, till I got here, to do anything. Yeah, I'm getting off the subject, but I'll get back.
And you mentioned something, sir, earlier that I want to make sure that I can keep in my notes and get for you. What do you want to happen at the next election? How do we make the next election fair?
And you know what, I stop all this complaining right now if you get someone like, John Michelle, the district judge in Trinidad, to oversee the elections.
So you want a third party DOE?
Yes, not controlled by these folks here. It's a conflict of interest, the way that things are going here. And that's my whole purpose. I'm not starting to sue the town, I don't want a lawsuit,
So it seems to me, and I can't decide for the board, it seems to me that it doesn't, there's no personal interest for the board to be involved or have staff involved in the election, correct? So that seems like a reasonable thing to do. And I don't make the decisions, I will certainly advise, I don't think that, and I talked to every one of these board members, the trustees, and that seemed very reasonable to me. That they would probably, and you don't have to go now, but I think that's something that we could say, or at least give Mr. Thorne at this point, say, look, if that's what we're going for here, if this is gonna solve the problem, why don't we just decide to get a third-party DOE? That's easy. And actually, it's great because I do see that there's interpersonal conflicts here, on both sides. So why don't we just take the conflict out, get a third party? Would that be something that this board would be on board with? No pun intended.
He's asking for a judge.
Well, he said a judge, and I said with a third party. We can't make somebody do it. We could certainly reach out to a judge, but he might be busy. But we could certainly come up with somebody that we all agree to. Would that solve your problem, sir?
if the district court judge agrees to it, would you, like I said,
I would say, why not? Okay.
I'll get in touch with him, personally, and then I'll get in touch with you.
That'd be fine with me. Or if it's.
Michelle is the
however
county
you want it.
judge. He's the county court judge.
County court judge.
So, yeah,
Fowler is the
And
district.
just so you know, it's from A to Z, we'll have no part of it, and the ballot week, nothing else.
and yeah, and so if folks aren't aware, and if Ireland's with you, she can, but doing an election is an incredible amount of work. It's not just these things that just appear, the ballots have to be made, every one of them has to be printed. When the ballots come in, the signatures have to be verified. I mean, and that's just like tip of the iceberg. I mean, Title 31 is a nightmare. And elections are very complicated. So we have, like I said, so there would have to be someone that would volunteer and/or the community members would volunteer to help put some of this stuff together. Because if you're gonna have a different DOE, that person is gonna have a lot of work to do. If this judge wants to do it, fine, I'd be surprised because the amount of work that goes into it, but we could figure something else out maybe where we have like a committee that works on or something to make this work as like to have a third party, have a DOE as this judge or whoever else is decided on. Will that work?
As long as the person is not from this community that has no,
You don't want staff report, you don't want staff report, right?
no. but I don't want their best friend either.
No, I understand that. Look, it wouldn't just be a subterfuge. There would be actual third party doing it. Even if the town, I mean, it could end up being that we have to, there are firms that do this for towns, but it costs money. And that's fine, but we might need to do that to start over and get this all laid out. Right.
If the others was done, we have plenty of money.
Well, and I think that's gonna get knocked loose soon. So, does that solve, so you said that's what you're going for, that's it, is it? Okay, let's do it. I think that's a reasonable request. You don't have to, but you can go ahead and put it now, if it was on the, technically on there, but you can also set it, or if there is another agenda item, and vote on it.
If we have to try to find somebody that was on there,
Well, you can just vote that you're agreed to,
do a resolution too.
you could vote to, let's set it as another agenda item, because we don't have to select the person now, but we would agree that we're gonna select somebody else, right?
Talk to somebody else. And you'll vote now to select someone else and then.
Not right now, bro,
They all agree.
because what we're gonna do is we gotta find somebody that's gonna do it.
Well, I think we don't have to, the resolution will have to name a person or a firm if we're gonna spend money, but I think you guys all verbally agreed on the record that you would vote for it. So I think that's
Just hire somebody, that way it takes it off.
I mean, it's easy, you just hire somebody, or if the judge wants to do it, let me do it. I don't think he's gonna want to do it, that's not her best design. And if you wanna get him in touch with me, Mr. Thorne, I'll talk with them, and otherwise, if you want to, you can speak with me, and I can recommend a firm that does this, that's out of the community, somewhere else.
I'll go ahead, so, yeah, and they agree to it, it looks like it will happen, so.
Awesome. All right.
I'll
Good.
be done with this. Thank you.
Thank you for the favor.
Okay, next party is Linda.
Or Linda wasn't going to be able to make it, so me and Dave Gullo were supposed to be on that, problem with it.
You know, the top, I don't think there's a problem with it, because the topic's been noticed. Are we talking about, which one is this?
Accountability for the board
Right.
Dave, do you have any questions on the accountability?
Well, yes, I do. I would like to ask a question to the town council. Why has not anyone been held accountable for the miscellaneous, inappropriate audits? That's what I'm here to talk about.
Well, it's not just
No,
completely
no.
audits. There's a lot of things that the council needs to take accountability for. Bouncing the check to gas companies, the filing of these quarter requests that get ignored for way past time for it to be done. The condition of the town, this building, all this comes under accountability. It's y'all's job to make sure that this town is run and maintained right, efficiently. But it's not, this building, there's really a chance of a 7-year water leak in this roof right here, that there's black mold in this building, which if it comes to that will cost thousands of dollars to have it fixed. But all you have to do is fix the roof. I've been here 7 years, it's leaked that long. I don't know whenever it started. Look how long it took to get those steps tore out up here for the ADA ramp. Look at the tank up on the hill that years ago should have just been sandblasted and painted. There is no accountability for the actions of people here. The only 2 workers here that were really, knew what they were doing, one got fired, the other quit. But then we offer $14 an hour for someone that you want 26, 27 years doing this? That's ridiculous. That's accountability. That's all it is now. You know, you gotta make a wage, you gotta have something to offer someone to come here. You're not gonna be able to hire inside the town limits here a qualified maintenance man, because they don't exist. You have assets, if you still own the marshal's house, put an ad in one of the other papers, use that marshal's house as someone experienced and bring them in from Pueblo or Colorado Springs, wherever you have to bring them in from. Then you'll have them living here and be part of their pay, but you need to pay someone.
We've had the marshal's ad in the paper for over 9 months,
For a marshal,
or marshal.
we're looking for someone to do, that knows maintenance. Someone knows that half of what Derek knew. You know, somebody knows what's going on here.
Well,
You've
instead of
been-
asking the town, why don't you help the town?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
And whoever the guy is behind me, you know what? By coming here, what you're calling attacking the town is protesting the treatment we're getting, the condition of this town. All you got to do is look. The bathrooms over here don't work, the roof leak here, and no matter what anyone's saying, that's accountability. You need to take charge of what's going on. We spend thousands of dollars for a company to dig a hole with a backhoe, whenever you just hire someone who knows what they're doing. Pay them.
Mr. Dolly, I have a question for you. When you were on council, were you accountable? And how was that?
I'm sorry, I'm hurting.
I said, when you were on council, how are you accountable?
How was I accountable? I called Mark out, which sat right there where Donald said, numerous times. And I asked him, pardon?
How did it help the town?
He didn't do nothing for the town.
And that's the
Same as a
problem.
person that was sitting right here where I'm at, that is a citizen in an area that came and questioned Mark, and you know what Mark said? Well, it's out of my hands now, Donald Gonzalez is got to take it over.
Well,
That was the answer.
let's stop a second, it's okay. Let's not, we don't need to.
Yes,
really-
exactly.
Yeah, both sides, I mean, we don't need to ask, it doesn't need to be about one person or personal, but here's the accountability thing, I think. Almost 90% of what you mentioned has to do with capital improvement projects. And that's something that is on our comprehensive plan, right? And so I think a way to solve that problem would be to maybe agree to put, come up with some sort of priority of work and allow people to comment or take some sort of informal voting on what capital improvement projects need to be done first, and then based on our budget, just start fixing stuff. Everybody wants everything fixed, I get it. There are parameters and obviously there's budgets and things like that, but I mean, the board, I've heard you guys talk about money to fix things. Right now, we're dealing with a really major water issue, as I'm sure you're aware. But I think that's could possibly solve the problem. If we build a capital improvement issue at every meeting, would that be something that would solve this issue for you?
We have to really talk about this one, because the accountability, Mark Pianos, that's right there. You know, this is, in last year, this is the 7th meeting that this man has missed.
What is our ethic, do you know what our code says?
CML has it listed that if you miss 3 meetings in a row or 4 in a year, you resign. But they won't hold to the rules.
Do we have a different ethical code than CML?
No.
No. We've adopted our own code of ethics, isn't it? Does it mention it?
I just sort of glanced at it, but I didn't really see it.
We're the most on town council.
I thought we did have
You never see it.
I agree that that's an issue, but, you know, we have, CML is, as you know, is the Colorado Municipal League, those who don't know, they put out guidance. Local rules can overrule if it's a matter of local concern, but we would have to adopt our own, policy to either override or not, whatever the CML's output is, and so that's definitely something we need to look into, because if we do have a non-participating board member, then that's easy to follow somebody that is gonna participate. But I don't, like I said, I haven't been here, this is only Well, it's the first meeting I've seen Mr. Piano miss, and so these are things that we have to, address. He's been here the last time I was here, he was here, and I'm unaware that that was the situation, but that's something that we'll definitely need to discuss.
I looked at the meeting today, those numbers are correct. If I went back further, we would find more. But it's, okay, we go through Mark for the accountability. There's an open town council seat right now. 2 meetings ago, it was said in here that you're going to have an election for that seat. What held it up was Tyler was supposed to be on the Zoom call to say when the packets could be picked up, something that simple.
I was not.
Excuse me, look, you're not asking a question, don't fall into it, Dave. She's, we have a right to a full council, we have a right to a council who will be here and be accountable. That seat is still open right now. The rest of them will tell you that at the town council meeting 2 meetings ago, it was said that they would hold an election for the seat.
A special election?
A special election. Then it came up to where the last part of the meeting, what was said was, they couldn't get Tyler on the computer, she walked away from it, or however it happened. They could not get the answer of when the packets could be picked up. And that threw it off for another 30 days, and then it did get put on the agenda today. So, what are we doing here?
On October 3rd, 2023, our annual meeting minutes, there is a set date for special election. Mr. Forrest made a motion to set the special election date for December 12th of 2023. It was seconded by me and the motion passed. So that's your election date.
So, but that, okay, but, yes, and no one's got a problem with that. When's the package will be picked up?
There's a calendar that we go by, we have a special election, it's a 71-day election instead of a 90-day.
See, I asked a simple question, when can we pick up the packet for the
I'm
election?
trying to explain to you that this is, no, that's fine. What do you?
Explain.
It's said that December 12th is the set date for the special election.
So when can we pick up the packet?
So, I don't know if this has been done yet, she's probably gonna do the calculation now, but so how this works is once it's set, and we can work backwards from this. You take the election date, and then you work backwards from Sunday 1, which means, and then you have 20 different things that have to happen in a sequence. And one of those things is what you're asking about, and so it's not just the packet, right? So there's a lot of other issues there, but I think she's gonna be able to calculate the next few minutes for you. So, because she has to, now, she's required to do things on a certain timeline. And so we're gonna give you that date, that's easy. We'll, by the end of the meeting, I bet you will have a date for you or sooner, but that's an easy one.
Thank you. The other accountability is that we had grants or funds come in from the state. The bathrooms out here are not working, didn't work for Aguilar Days, everyone knew that. Aguilar Days is the biggest thing that we have around here. How does our community look whenever we can't get a bathroom operating for Aguilar Days? People in town, I was one of them, we came out and volunteered our time to go up and down Main Street cleaning it up. Because we don't have town employees. That's accountability, we don't have town employees because we don't pay them anything.
On your restroom, when our project, report comes up, you'll know what's going on with that. So you'll get your answer on that when we do the project report.
Would you allow a committee of the citizens to work with the councilman?
What do you mean?
Well, like 2 or 3 of us that might have some good ideas to help you along. We know how busy the town councilmen are. Some of us are retired, we got a little bit more time, maybe we could meet with you and kind of work this out.
It's up to the board.
It's always up to the board.
What sort of committee are you talking
It
about?
is.
There's 2 or 3 of us that can keep updated on what's going on. Because the way that.
for capital improvement projects or
Yes,
for?
yes. To let us be involved in it.
So like a capital improvement project committee?
Yes.
I mean, they can't decide on now, but I think you put it on the agenda for, I think we should.
Well, and another thing I can't decide on now, this meeting of once a month, last special meeting after it came out of executive session was 4.5 minutes. I mean, come on, you need 2 meetings a month. You guys need to start stepping up because the town's in trouble. Step up and do what you need to do. Quit running for the bar right after the things, people can't wait to get out of here. They jump up and run from the table to get out of here. We need a council that's going to be responsible for this. And if, we're not getting that, we're not getting the full council.
Yeah.
Mine is on the discussion of the audit.
And I'll step out as the.
No, you're right, you're sitting right there. Failure to audit. I don't know, Joe got one, some papers been passed around that came out today on the World Trade. Okay? And there's a full page on the front. Cost of delinquent faulty audits add up in. Here we are, little as you are, 400, maybe 500 people. Here we made big news. And it's faulty. Why? Why is all this? That's one of the questions. The other, and I quote from this,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Aguilar is up to its ears in audit trouble. The town is drowning in unfiled audits, having failed to make any submissions to the Office of State Audit, the OSA, since 2018. How long has that been? 5 years, right? This is a yearly thing that has to be done for the town of Aguilar. I want to read something else. On top of this, in a 2020 letter issued, I want to, 2020, I don't know if it's all on the board or not, but some of you are. Issued to the town board of trustees, the OSA flagged a number of problems with the town's audit dating back to 2014. Was any of the council aware of this? Was you aware of it? Was you, well, you was on it.
You was on too.
Exactly. I was not aware of it. Somebody falsified the audits. Who's in charge of the audits?
What do you mean falsified?
Saying that we received it. We did not receive it. I didn't. Did you? You was on council. Charlene did.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
letter that I just read about, the letter on top of this in a 2020 letter issued to the town's board of trustees. You were there. I was there. Charlene was there. Multiple others was there. The OSA flagged a number of problems with the town's audit dated back to 2014. Did you receive that or hear about that? What was the transparency about that? Transparency about it.
There, I can announce you did, but I'm never, back in 2014, unless I looked
That's
at,
true, but did you hear about it in 2020? Did you get a letter?
I didn't get a letter personally.
Exactly, I didn't either.
So that's some,
Why would they?
that's some third party then giving, you're talking about a third party that would have given them a letter. But there was,
The OSA,
well, that's what this says in the paper, but I mean,
okay.
do they have a copy of the letter? I mean, where are we going with that?
No, this is the cost of delinquency, the faulty audits. They're saying since 2014, but from 2018 to 2023, we have not filed from the town of Aguilar, USA, an audit.
Right, and so there's.
And that's unlawful, and, go ahead,
No, and so this is an easy one, okay?
okay?
There's no good excuse for not filing.
Exactly.
I've talked with staff and we talked with the board, and there is an auditor on board, and they're working on it. We can't go back in time, I wasn't here, you brought up a good point, and I'm not undermining your point. My point is everybody on this board knows that we didn't have an audit from 2018 until this year. So 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, we don't have audits on the books. This is a problem for a lot of reasons. One, the biggest of which is that there's a lot of grants out there that require audits for us to get money. Okay, so we're gonna fix it. We already have an auditor, and we're gonna fix it. I don't know what else that we can tell you, other than
No
I believe we
accountability.
had a,
there's a mistake been made and we're fixing it.
I think in 2016, that has to be your question, 2016, 2018, audits were completed
Right,
by CPA Travis Murphy of Oak Point, Texas. Why was it not submitted to the state, the OSA?
in 2016?
That was in, yes, 2016 to 2019. They wasn't spent. Why?
I think we did submit audits. I wasn't here, but.
I know you wasn't here, so you can't truthfully answer that question.
Well, we can find the audit. It's gonna be either submitted or not. So like
I
said,
Cora requested it and I never received it.
where are we going with the audit thing?
The budget is supposed to correspond with the audits, and it does not.
Okay, so what happens to a budgeted item? And this is good for everybody to hear. What happens to a budgeted item where, are you saying that you think that money was taken and spent elsewhere? Is
I
that?
don't know what happened to it.
Okay, so typically, and I wasn't here, I didn't look at it, but typically what happens to a budgeted item that isn't spent is it gets moved into a general fund and or it rolls over to the next year.
Right?
I don't, that would be a Tyra question or a Sarah question, I guess, but I don't think if you have, is there something that you, other than the fact that obviously they should have done an audit and they were already admitting that that was a mistake,
Okay.
what's the, I guess the problem would be, you think the money was spent on,
I'm not saying that, no.
okay,
I want to know why. Why was not the audit submitted whenever that young lady knew that it was to be done every year? And she is supposedly the town clerk. She's been
it should
here,
have been done.
she's been here for 15, maybe 16 years, maybe not that long. But before 2014, she submitted it.
I think Tyra knows.
There again, no accountability.
I know, I stepped in and I apologize to everybody.
I'm sorry, but no, you don't.
No,
There's no transparency. You did not bill the council.
it's not my responsibility to give the letter. I get letters from the Department of OSHA by myself. They get their own letters. There's still stuff in the boxes at town hall that you guys never even picked up. From when you were on council.
Not my problem.
But in this article also, and this goes to the projects we're working on now for the water, it says section 29.101, Colorado Revised Statutes, during the fiscal year, no officer, employee, or other spending agency shall expand or contract to expand any money or incur any liability or enter into any contract by its terms involves the expenditure of money in excess of the amounts appropriated. And then it goes on to here to say that we missed this several times. You know, and the law says that you can't do this. You have to follow what the guidelines are on this money being spent.
Yeah, and there's serious consequences for it, and we're seeing those, right? So we have money that, well, the whole town's up close, is that money is held up by the state. That's the consequence for that.
$115,000.
And so
No
the
repercussions.
auditor we have
That's the
now
quote.
is gonna
No
fix it, and
repercussions,
then we'll
just no
get that
repercussions.
117 from the state once we fix it. And that's how the state controls it, and, you know, that's how they regulate, that's how they motivate towns that don't follow their audits. And that's, I think I mean, like I said, this is a dead horse. There's been a mistake made, and there's no way. For years. For years.
Thank you, sir.
And there's no, and I don't know what else we could do about it other than fix it. I wanna fix it. I think you guys
If
should.
it's the same person that's doing it.
What's the plan on fixing it?
We are fixing it. There is an auditor, and I have a list of auditors that, you know, that work with small towns, and this one leaves like the last one. And we won't have another gap year, at least not while, I know this board doesn't wanna have another gap year, it's not my decision again, but the audit has to happen, and we're gonna make it happen going forward. That's the bottom line.
But it can't be, 2023 cannot be done until these 2019 is done.
Yeah, they have to go back and reconcile.
Exactly.
You can't have 23 done until next year, you do the year before.
You've had 5 years and you still ain't got them done.
I don't do the audit, I do the financial
You're
and
not-
send them to the auditor.
Tyler, please don't do this. You're not
She's
supposed
always
to,
doing this.
yeah, she's not supposed to speak, though. We're talking to the council.
Yes.
And so we're doing this respectfully, and it's just, we don't need this.
Yeah, because what the attorney explained to you is that the audits are getting done, they're getting caught up. They should be done hopefully by November of everything. Everything should be done, all of it.
But we've heard this before.
Well, this is what we were told by the auditor, okay? So that's what I'm going on. But I've been talking to him every Friday now to make sure this is done.
Can you tell us that?
What's that?
Who is the auditor?
You get, well, it's public record, just Cora, it's auditor contract. You can Cora my contract and Cora auditor's contract, these are all public records. I don't know it offhand, but we can get you.
Or, tomorrow, we'll see how.
Or if we, I mean, I'm happy to formally provide information that I have as long as the board allows me to.
How does just a simple question turn into a report or request that?
It doesn't need to, do you not know who our auditor is?
But, I mean, if everybody has to follow the rules, follow the rules.
We just have.
I'll get you.
Man.
Like the CRS you're in violation of,
The
Tara?
the thing is here though, is that these are people who are hired by the town, and it's the board's contract with them, so obviously, you can have information, but it would be inadvisable to try to contact them and do
The
anything.
information tells us that it's my Aunt Sue's cousin's
That's right.
CPA.
I get that.
I wanna know if it's a legitimate company. You know,
I
it's a legitimate question of who they are. I have no intention of contacting them, I know that would be.
That's not how what I meant to, by that. My point is, that's public information, we're gonna give that to citizens.
Well, why does ever just a question become?
I think there's a lot of interpersonal stuff, obviously, and we're working through that. I don't know what to tell you. I said interpersonal, not personal. And I think, I think this is a matter of, people not getting along. That's the bottom line, and that's not right, but we're gonna get you.
Not in 2018.
No, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the issue that you just spoke of, where you can't ask a question. I think there's heated emotions and personalities, and we're trying to avoid that, so just,
Saying that we're tired of this.
Yes.
I understand, and I'll get you the auditor.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to, go ahead, I'm sorry, Sean.
Nothing, I just said we're all tired of this.
But
We're
spending, in excess of amounts budgeted, that's why I brought up the budget. Law to be, budget law, section 29-1-101, the CRS, we urge you to carefully review the budget law to be sure its requirements are completed within the future. But it's not. There again, You can answer it,
There's no answer.
exactly,
The answer is
yeah.
the whole board and everybody agrees.
Mm-hmm.
There's
But
nothing.
wait,
They don't follow the law.
in addition to the budget expenditures, the 2020 letter issued to Aguilar's Board of Trustees, which evidently nobody has and haven't seen it, outlined a laundry list of further audit problems. The first of which was failing to report certain assessments and investments at fair value.
Assets and investments.
I know you can't answer it, sir, I'm not holding you responsible.
No, I know
You
that,
just
but
leave
we're
it on the
also,
clock.
I mean, we're reading from a paper. And
Exactly.
I have no idea, you, I mean, as this person, where's this letter? I mean, let's credit this
Okay,
person.
she's very credible, but
Yes.
the problem is why do we have to ask a reporter? Why
To
can't
find
we-
out.
Why can't we find out?
We
from
don't
council
get, there
meeting?
she goes again.
Who asked her? You asked the board to write this order?
Oh, no, no, I'm motivated here to interpret it. But no, I can't get him to write a story.
No, and that's why I was confused with it. So, I read the paper, again,
But why are the citizens, us, these people out there, the, constituents, we are losing on $117,000 that the state is holding because of these audits.
Right.
That particular individuals knew was supposed to be done, and no accountability.
And we get, hopefully it'll be done in November.
Right, hopefully.
well, the auditors are hired, they're working on it,
And
and
maybe-
that's how auditors, like, we can't control, we can only hire the auditor. And all I can say is going forward, obviously, there's gonna be an auditor hired. We're gonna fix it, and then we're gonna keep going.
Obviously, an auditor's going to be hired. We already had this going on.
We have an auditor.
Just don't know the name.
What do you mean?
That auditor that we now have
Yeah.
cannot file to the OSA until 2019.
They have to go back and fix all the
Exactly,
bugs. That's right.
2019. It should have never had to go back and fix it. That's what I'm saying, sir. Nobody's been,
And I get that part of it, and that's something that the board's gonna have to deal with, but my point is.
Wow.
There's an auditor. There's an auditor now. I don't know what else what do we want to discuss? I think the board, can everybody at least acknowledge, we know that it should have been done, right? So, I don't know what else we can do.
Can we follow up on this at the next meeting and see how this plays out?
Yeah, in fact, we're gonna try to do you one better. We're gonna reach out to the auditor and try to get, some sort of letter of, including an ETA on our audit and how it's going, et cetera. And we're gonna provide that. Okay, that'll be public knowledge. And what I meant by hiring people is that if we lose an auditor, which happens, right? So auditors come and auditors go. They're like, next year, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna let that slip through the cracks. We're just gonna hire another auditor. Because that's what happened 5 years ago. And that's not an excuse, but an auditor left and then never got it back up. And we have to admit that we messed up and then we have to fix it. That's why we're gonna do it.
Channel
He
13
broke
is
the law.
very embarrassing for this town with,
He messed up.
our mayor. Speaking of that audit, we had an auditor and they quit,
you break
and we got another
apologize.
auditor.
I messed
He
up.
couldn't
I
get
messed
the
up.
numbers together and stuff.
That's correct.
2018,
That's correct.
what year is it, Donald?
By now, 2023.
2018, 2023,
I counted 5 years.
No, I ain't gonna sit here and argue with y'all.
We're
Y'all
not arguing.
tell me, so.
It's already, this is, like I said, this is now, I mean,
You're right.
you can keep attacking and keep saying mean things or pointing it out, but they've already addressed the fact that it should have been.
Criminals.
We can't go back to talk.
But I want to speak to the city council, these 4 members. What's gonna be done? Who's gonna be held accountable for this? They're in charge, am I correct?
The board, yes,
Of all personnel.
correct.
Remember that statement.
Remember that statement.
I got it.
He did.
Okay.
So, who's in charge of running this town of Aguilar?
Council.
The board.
don't see that.
No.
We see it as 2 or 3 people getting up into the
One.
office. Getting up into the office, talking this over. Whenever I sat in this seat, I never knew anything. I was refused information just because I might tell a constituent that our water was cracked. And that's the way it's done here. And why don't I have the right to tell someone the water's cracked whenever our water is cracked? You guys, you even said in a meeting here, and you guys even have a video where that you said, you accused me of joining in a church, and I was talking to the people, the constituents about the water problems here, and this is what we get going. You want all the information to go through one person, and no, we can't speak to y'all. You don't have an email address up there where we could send you a message. You don't talk to us on the, well, Monica will. The rest of you don't talk to us on the street about different issues here. We have a right to know, other than the 4.5 minutes that you hold a town council meeting, what's going on here. We should have an email address to where we can write to you, ask you a question. You should be able to respond within a month. I mean, you took the job as a town councilman, all of you did. And that comes with responsibility of representing us, not yourself. We want to see that happen. I'd like to see an email address. So where that if I got a complaint, I don't have to go through Tyra. We don't know if the complaint even gets passed through. It doesn't come up on anything here. I'd like to hear you respond to what I have to say to you. You're the town council. You should do that. You work for us. That's what we like to see. If we come back next month and follow up on this, it would be great.
Do we have Aguilar, like, dropped out emails?
No,
Yes. Availability?
no.
Not available, but we got them.
Gmail.
That's something
We use
can-
Gmail.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Not for me.
Can we do this again next month?
I don't, that's not my call. I do think it went very well. I think it was very civil. I think we actually got to the bottom of a few things that are easy fixes for everybody and benefit the whole town. I will certainly suggest, another 3-item agenda, and you can see how it works and how everybody gets, like, when it gets to the bottom of it, they're like, oh, okay, there's a fix that everybody will like here. I for one, having done some election work, would be thrilled not to have to do an election as a DOE. So, I mean, it even works out for the town and staff, right? Because if you guys want to vote to pay for a third party or get a third party, then why not, right? That solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, that solves a lot of the problems.
So, and I think we can get to the bottom of a few other issues. And I thought it went well, but that's not my decision, it's the board's decision.
Yeah, we went well. All right, then I'll contact you with another list then.
You want to do that, Mr.
I
Moore?
have no further questions.
No, we'll leave it up.
The meeting next month will be the Thursday before, and the next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so it's the Thursday before, not before, the Thursday.
So November 17th. November 17th, will be the next meeting will be.
November 17th.
I'll have the questions to you in a week.
And then, we'll just stick to, I like the format, I think it worked well, to have like a specific issue that we talked to. And then if you come, again, for whatever supporting evidence you want to bring, your issues that you want, so that we can actually look into it and give you educated responses.
Thank you.
Cool. Sir, when do we pick up the package you said you'd have answered?
Oh, you get it.
November the 21st.
November 21st? Thank you.
And it'll be in the paper as well.
Okay, Ms. Sue, go ahead.
This is gonna be kind of hard for me, but you guys voted on the code of conduct or ethics for each the board, correct? For this board.
Right.
Then how come you're not being held to it the whole?
I guess, going to work on attorney, it's not a question, it's just,
Okay, you have violated the code of conduct that this board voted on when you called TJ a baby. I don't think you should be our mayor anymore. I think you should have enough integrity to step down.
that's an attack on me, Sue, so.
That's not an, what?
I told you
What?
this was gonna be hard, because I voted for you, and my respect level for you was through the roof. This is not a personal attack. Well, I guess it is, because you made an action that needed to be addressed. And I'm sorry, but I'm addressing my mayor. You did it. What are you gonna do about it?
I am gonna do about it.
So you don't feel that violating the code of ethics that got Vern recalled is a reason for you to not step down? That you're above that code of ethics? Why? Why would you be above that code of ethics? You're not gonna answer because the attorney says no, but you know I'm right. You know I'm not on anybody's side, I'm on the side of what's right, and what you did was wrong. It was wrong. I guess we're done here because, again, you have no respect for the people that you serve.
No accountability and your oath is shit, Donald. Piss on that oath, right?
Go ahead, Robert.
So, part of that accountability that I would like to talk about is, I brought this up over a year ago. Our mayor, Donald Gonzalez, cannot read or write. Yet he's in charge of the checks for the $3.7 million grant that we're gonna get after the meeting. That should be a qualification of the mayor, correct? He should be able to read or write, so he can understand the paperwork that he's gonna be signing and the checks he's gonna be writing. I'm asking the attorney, because this is a question that I would like to answer.
Assuming what you're saying is correct, which I don't think it is, and that's not true. There's no requirement other than.
Integrity.
what's written in the statute for mayor is that you're over 18 years old and you reside in the community that you are voted in. There's nowhere that says you have to read and write English language. I've seen the mayor read things that I've read in tonight.
You have seen him memorize the agenda. So there was a reason why we were not allowed to speak before. They wanted us to get, when you got here, you wanted us to get on the agenda to speak 72 hours before the meeting. Well, they weren't putting the agenda out until 48 hours or less before the meeting. So how are we supposed to get on the agenda, talk about something on the agenda if it wasn't put out in time? And the reason why they were getting the agenda, they wanted us to get on there a week before, is so the mayor can memorize it before he comes up with it. So one of the things that stands out is he cannot even say that the loan that they approved last week is for $2.64 million. He doesn't understand what that number is. How is he supposed to write checks if he doesn't even understand the number of the loan? They had an executive session a few months back
and he mixed up the numbers. He mixed up those numbers. If I remember correctly, he called it a 6,040,something-thousand-dollar loan. And at the last meeting, last week, he had to ask Gerald at the end of it if it was 4,640,000.
It's on video.
Questions.
It's on video, don't
It's on
lie.
video, I was here.
From your own stream. Don't lie, Gerald. Not good luck,
If he
buddy.
can't understand these numbers, how are we gonna expect him to be in charge of writing the checks for the $3.7 million grant?
Thanks for coming in, Robert. Your 3 minutes is up.
I thank you for timing me, but, I have a couple of things that I still would like to do off my chest, and I'm going to still talk. So one of the things that they were talking about is holding the board members accountable. Well, this year in
Time is done. Please
January,
wrap up your comment.
this year in January,
Time is passed.
Mark
Comment
not
period
only
is done.
threatened me, put his hand in his pocket,
Oh, yeah.
he put his hands on me and threatened me in the store, and these board members
I'd like
did
to move on
nothing
the next
to stop
speaker.
him, they did nothing to me.
Leave the podium. Your time is up.
I'm not leaving the podium until I finish talking. If you don't like it,
Speaker, please.
if you don't like it, that's
Aside.
bad. Well, I'm not gonna start talking, so I'm not finished. If you don't like what I have to say, that's too bad. I wasn't asking you.
Well, your time is up, so. You got your 3 minutes.
Well, that's your review, that's not mine. So since my 2 minutes are up, what are you gonna do about it?
Well, go ahead and use one. Continue with the meeting.
I'm not gonna go ahead and leave. I'm gonna finish what I came up with to speak about.
Yeah, please go ahead. Remove it, please.
And there
Yeah,
we go
deputies,
again
go ahead and
with
remove him,
integrity.
please. Show us all what you're capable of.
Hold on.
Don't seem to be budging, huh?
One of the reasons that you have a certain amount of time is that other people have a chance to speak, so that there's not.
Maybe he wants to catch up for the last 3 months he's missed.
But every time I've gotten up here to talk, more than 3 people have interrupted my minutes, just like tonight.
Nobody interrupted you tonight. I'm sorry, I didn't see anybody interrupt. I think it's obvious that we're up here just to cause an issue. And you have to reach,
It's not.
I think it's
would
pretty
like to
obvious.
be heard. We've been trying to be heard here for
So
months and months.
here's why you have a 3-minute window. Because if everybody wanted to come up here and speak for an hour, we would not get any business done. That's why there's legislative disruptive laws.
But if you want to have a 5-minute meeting, you can do that, right?
Recognized, sir. You haven't been recognized.
I'm recognized by everybody here, better than that, bud.
The people that were on the agenda got more than 5 minutes.
Do you want to?
5 minutes.
So if you-
Recognize the
Here's
mayor.
how we do this. If you want to be on the agenda, we will put you on the agenda if you have a discussion item that has to do with community business. Is that what you like? Because I think we can get you way more time in the right way. Okay, what issue do you want to discuss?
One of the issues I would like to discuss is to get some of the board members that have been, not following the code of ethics.
So do you know Mr. Thorne? Okay, Mr. Thorne
Yes.
knows how to contact me. Mr. Thorne, will you please, what's your name, sir?
Robert Apple.
Would you please add Robert to one of your agenda items for the next upcoming meeting, so we get more time to speak?
So can we get on there on our own agenda items?
There's an agreement that we're gonna speak to 3 agenda items from the community every meeting.
Who agreed?
Right.
Well, Mr. Thorne started, and my understanding is.
Uh,
Her and Thorne don't get along.
He
So how are you
doesn't
gonna
speak for
discriminate
me.
there?
I'm not saying he speaks for you.
So how can why would I follow an agreement?
Or
That
retrieve
somebody else
information from him.
signed.
No, it's not, no. It's a, what we call like a gentleman's agreement. He said there's 3 issues, and we had,
That's for him, not for her.
It's 3 minutes.
yeah, his 3 minutes.
Sorry, Robert.
I would like to put Robert
There
on
should
the
be
agenda
interruptions.
so he can talk the right way. Because if we do a public comment and everybody comes up and speaks for as long as they want, you'll be here until 2 a.m. So,
Planning on being here for hours and hours, I just want to ask about.
well, let's put you on the agenda and do it the right way. And if somebody else wants to be on the agenda, then we'll figure it out.
I think you're right. We act this far. If you want to next month, good job.
I know that that's what you're going for, but we're not gonna do that.
See what I mean? Take these as a threat. And intimidation tactics. So I've been intimidated for a whole year, but people don't do anything to help me. They don't do anything to stop it. They just let them do whatever they want and run free. That is, that's one of the main reasons why I want to get up here, because people do not want to just let them keep running free. They're tired of it. I'm not the only one that's tired of it. I'm the only one that's out there talking, because I'm not afraid of what they're going to do for it.
I understand that. Nobody wants to see that. Anybody. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
SAW?
I'm not recognized.
Everyone else sign
Got me fucked up.
for 3 minutes?
I couldn't find it, because I've never been. Can I have my 3 minutes?
Sure, come on up.
Hey, my name is Barbara Graff. I've been here over 2 years. So I'm from Texas, I'm an Aggie. But I just want to say this community is awesome. And I mean that respectfully. I could come up with a totally different verb, but the town took me in and everybody was really good to me when I went through something really horrible. So I respect this town. So what I'm saying comes from the heart. And all I basically was thinking was, I have emailed the town before, and I did get a response from you, but I did get my email answered. There is somebody or people on a tyrant here when there shouldn't be. There's 2 issues. The water needs to be fixed, the money needs to be found, the audits need to be done. That's one issue, finances. And then there's angry citizens. But we gotta remember to follow the good in the town, not the bad. Because yelling at people, calling them names, and hurting them gets us nowhere. So,
Being nice doesn't
let's
either.
respect each other. And it starts with you. God made you, it starts with you. You can't change someone else.
I thought it started with
But it
his
starts
ethics.
with you. So I just want to say, and if
What's
you do
allowed.
have a board, you have to vote on that, obviously. And also the outside audit will have to be voted on if it goes
Should
over a
I
certain
throw him
amount.
out today?
It has to be voted on to the town, I believe, at least what I was taught.
Yes.
But,
Cat man.
I just want to say thank you for the whole town. And I don't know y'all, but I appreciate y'all, and I think there's an answer. And the few days that these ladies let me do a little bit of volunteer work, I saw nothing but kindness and respect. So I hope and I pray every night that the town gets the audits done and everything gets taken care of. So thank y'all.
Thank you, appreciate that. Utilities, Ken, maybe.
Utility report. We don't have it. Anybody for utilities? Office report.
There's utility report, and I didn't have to go, because when the recording was digital. We have a button, go ahead and take the, I'll be taking stuff.
Yeah, I'll take all that.
Take what?
Okay.
What, you can go.
We got the augmentation pond, the contract was signed. The project can start, first week of October 6th. So it's about, well, November 4th, yes, sorry, November 4th, so that everybody know. It's within budget, the contract, the loan and the grant will be coming to the town. The town will get reimbursed for the engineering services and the services for the attorney to get involved. They'll also be reimbursed for having to work with the water rights issue that to get the reservoir going. So that's all done. The state has accepted the audits. They know that the audits are getting done. So USDA and Cobank and the land company is aware of all this, so that's how the project's getting going. Second thing is, I finally got an approval letter from CDPHE regarding the engineering service for the second phase for the new water tower and the filtration building. I was on phone, we had a phone conference today with CDPHE and also with the engineering firm that's representing town of Aguilar. So he had to submit his engineering services, providing what he's gonna be doing. The state accepted that, so now it's in the state's hand to start getting the funding so we can get one on that project. So that's the second phase of it. Regarding ADA maps, it's not the town's fault that this took so long. The project was given out 6 months ago. The contractor, he overexpanded himself. He got a project with the county, and he was not, able to get here on time. So we finally got him to get his crew, part of his crew over, so we can get this done before the winter. Hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, that'll be done. The rest of the facility, there's one coming tomorrow to take a look at, see what needs to get fixed. And also, he's also going to take a look at the sink hand wash sink that needs to be fixed in here in the community center. We're also looking for other grants. I was on a grant with the U.S. Department of Transportation this week to try to make sure that we improve all the infrastructure coming into the town of Aguilar, from your water to your wastewater. And also, there's another grant available there's a lot of lead joints here within the town, that lead services that go into the individual homes. The town of Aguilar is not the only one dealing with this. City of Trinidad, Denver, and everybody's doing it because there's a lot of old lead joints that need to be replaced. So those are the things that we're working on for the future, capital improvement projects. Those are big projects. It takes time. It also takes money, and we're working on the grants. A lot of it is in kind that we're getting credit for, because as a small community from the town size of Aguilar, we're a disadvantaged community. So it's on our best interest. And we have some good commissioners willing to help us, and CDPHE and the states, where once we get this engineering report done for the water tank and the filtration system, we'll be going after a DOLA grant, so, yes.
Quick question, can you elaborate on the filtration system for us?
In a very quick capacity.
The plans, I mean, what are we filtering for, anything like that, any information?
You have to have, when you have potable water, you have to have a storage tank, and then you have to have a filtration to go to it, make sure the water's clean. Then you have to have a chlorination system to decontaminate any components within the system. And then it has to be tested regularly by the state of Colorado. So every municipality has to follow it. And in fact, town of Aguilar is sending in the reports, because that's part of the agreements. I mean, every community has to do to make sure that we know that we upgrade our facility. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Why are we waiting for so long? That ADA ramp's supposed to have been done in 2016.
So what is?
The ADA.
Oh, that's, no,
I know.
I'm not talking about,
Okay,
I'm not here to talk about what's in the past. I'm here to talk about, let's correct the issues we have now, and let's move forward.
Okay.
That's all I want to do.
Has anyone instructed you about a tractor that's down here in the sewer pond?
I have no knowledge of anything like that, so, I mean, I'm just working on these issues now.
Okay.
And we'll get to, like they said, let the town know, I mean, if we can do something
Thank
to
you.
work on, we'll work on it.
Thank you.
But you know what, we're just trying, I'm trying to help the city council and you all, so we better this community as a whole. I mean, I read that article today, some of the comments that were in there, I gave that lady, and I know who she is, my card, so I could respond to some of those issues. She never bothered returning, calling me, which I could have addressed. I mean, I'm not gonna say everything was wrong, everything was right, but there's accountability that, they should at least ask, the town council asked me, that some of those issues were not even addressed, with them responding.
Why didn't you call her?
It's not my responsibility to call her. It isn't.
I mean,
I mean.
that's the way it is with all.
Well, let me tell you something. I mean, if she wants to know what's going on with the community, it's a reporter's responsibility to contact the community. Bottom line.
But you as engineers should contact the public. We was not informed.
I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight.
Fair enough.
Yes.
What is your responsibility here?
I'm helping with the, oversee the project for the augmentation reservoir, working with the engineering company, working with USDA to make sure that, and we found there were some flaws on USDA side as well, so we're correcting those issues. That's
So
my
you're doing
responsibility.
this as a volunteer, you're not getting percentage of the grant?
No, I don't get a percentage of the grant.
You
or
don't
I
get paid at all, you're
community.
just a volunteer out of goodness.
Well, I
of your heart.
have a contract with this community, but I don't get paid by the grant.
How do you have a contract
Well,
with the
I'm not,
community whenever they go through the town council?
That's how things work around here.
No, that's a legitimate question.
That is a legitimate
You keep
question.
standing up here and telling us what.
Well, I gave it to the council, and they looked at it, and so I'm not here to
No,
get
no,
involved,
no,
no, I'm not here to
they
get
can't-
involved.
well,
I'm here to
you're
help the
involved.
community.
You're
So,
involved.
I'm involved.
Whether you like it
So-
or not, the council made a decision without
Yeah.
being in a
Let's
public
not
meeting.
digress before we say that, why don't we ask can we just come up with the minutes for you when that decision was made?
Yes.
That's easy.
But if you guys don't want my service, let me know.
No,
I mean,
no one said that.
I mean,
No one-
I see nothing but negative here, and I don't have to be here, you know? I
No
mean,
one
and
said
if you don't
that.
want, you know, Vern, you come over here like attacking me, well, you didn't get a contract. If you guys don't want me here, you guys tell me.
Yeah, and this is why
I mean,
this is why we have agenda items and why we discuss it, because when we start getting into these issues, I know for a fact, because I've worked with Ken and the water attorney, he busts his backside for this town.
He's doing a good job.
Right, but he feels attacked now, and now we have.
If you guys don't want me here, I don't have to be here.
The point is, he doesn't need to be interacting with questions, he's just giving a report to the board. That's what he's doing, so.
Okay, that's all I see.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
I just want to know, the filtration system that we're putting is going to be different than the one we have right now.
Yes, it's gonna be complete building, a chlorination filtration, and an automatic feeding system, so this is the filtration system, you know, it clarifies everything. Then samples are taken by the town and.
Okay, the next deal is on old business. It's for code book. The new code.
The unique.
We tabled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tabled it because we wanted him to come in and talk to us.
Yeah.
We need to get it done. There was gonna be two different prices, right? If I
Well, two
remember
different
correctly.
prices, and I think it was two different companies as well. I think one was a,
So do we, is this something we have to vote on? It's over the amount.
We don't have it in this packet. No, it's not in this packet, it was in the last one's packet. That's what it was. So what's the town council wanna do? I mean, we gotta get that book updated, we have to update it now.
Well, I thought we were supposed to have one of the companies come in and talk about what services they were going to.
That's what we had discussed last board meeting, is that they were supposed to come in and talk to us.
Well, when can we get them in? Would you call them? I don't know, who will call? Would you?
On the mini code. And he sent all the information in that, paperwork that I had given you guys. He listed off everything that would be done and could be done with what pricing. Everything's listed in that, on that. paperwork. Yeah, everything was listed on that paperwork that we would be able to do.
We already have the original CD from the beginning, and the lady that works on the records, and then just instead of paying the full service.
I don't think we don't have to redo the whole book, I don't think we should.
Just the ones that are updated.
And it's gonna take a bit of time, because there's stuff in there that's really old.
it needs to get done.
we
meeting?
just pick a date for the next meeting, vote on it for the next meeting? Or just leave it for Friday,
I'm not recognizing this fucking good, dude.
I can have the lady that does the website cross-reference everything. We have the city that has everything on this in the last application. But the application could be done in 24 years. And I've been in there since 2000.
That's in that photo. There's photos of insurance.
Well, I think it'd be better for him to do that than to have to pay all that money for somebody to.
well, if you don't have to change the whole book, and just update what needs to be updated. And when we have a CD, then, yeah.
Just don't remove the mess with ordinance.
Is she
So
really?
we're trying to avoid is removing ordinances
Okay.
to
So is
update.
it something we need to vote on?
We're gonna make a motion on
It isn't a function, it's for old business.
Need somebody to make a motion on it. Basically, the motion of, to go ahead and have,
So maybe he does on the website.
go to our website, to go ahead and go to the CD, to go ahead and add it. Only, replacing old ones that we have.
To look over all the CRSs and to update the old ones. And so we're up to Muni code again. I make a motion and we ask the lady who does our website to update our Muni code book.
Mr. Kemp?
Yes.
Yep, Deborah.
Yes.
Mr. Dawes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, or is it?
Um,
Oh, Deborah, can I discuss?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You want to bring up the water line?
The Galati water line, I'm under the assumption that it was approved, right? The water line,
The water.
the water line, okay. Mr. Galati said they hadn't had water for quite a while now.
Well, he wants the road gravelled after there. The road wasn't gravelled beforehand.
Right, but we need to move forward, at least get the water line coming in. We can fight with them on the gravel after.
He's not hooked up to the water?
No, they got it across the ditch, he's not hooked up because he wants his road gravel. And remember, we were supposed to get estimates just from, I think we asked Mike.
How many months is that?
See how much gravel and stuff is gonna cost.
That's about one.
We never said yes, we never said no, but we did agree for the water lines, we need to get the water line hooked up. It's been a while.
And the water line is through the ditch.
Yes, right, no,
I don't think, Garrett, the water line's not through the ditch, right? They said-
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
okay. 'cause I-
Now, the old water line is already through the ditch.
right. They were gonna go the other way.
I'm sorry.
I said they were gonna go the other way.
I don't know what direction that they're
Oh,
gonna
you
go.
weren't there at the thing? Oh, no. Sorry, meeting.
Okay, I thought it was under the assumption that it was across.
I never seen anybody crossing the ditch.
Uh-uh.
I could be wrong, but.
Okay, well, we need to get it hooked up, so we can get,
We asked Mike and it's
Gary,
okay.
okay.
is there any water in the ditch now? Is there any water in the ditch now?
No, it's been dry for a little while.
Do we have to do something to go across that ditch or under the ditch or something?
I thought we already, everybody already agreed on everything, if I'm not mistaken,
Except for graveling it.
except for gravel, yeah, everything was already.
Did you
agreed upon
guys,
By,
did you get a hold of Keith?
yes. And that's why I said I think everything is already agreed upon to get the water hooked up. The town never agreed to gravel,
I don't know nothing about the graveling or
so,
How much gravel are we talking about?
I don't know, we'll have to take a look.
Gerald could take that contract.
Driveway's like the.
But it's not even a quarter mile. It's probably 2 cents in that, so I mean, it's just, that's what's gonna have to be, we ain't gonna be able to get it done, and there are the trees.
$7,000
Well,
on
that goes to the garbage.
Well, but anyways, we need to move forward, at least get the water hooked up.
Right.
Go ahead and do hold of Mike and them.
Okay.
Okay, under new business, utility worker interviews. We have a packet
got a name now?
Be Joe. Looking for here. This is Joe Key, the middle initial. R. One.
Pronounce exactly what it's about.
Can't even read last name.
Right over here, guys.
It's only three
This
board
morning,
members then.
currently living at now.
Right here in town.
You living in town now?
There's no quorum.
Yeah, there's quorum, mayor's quorum.
Yeah,
I used to have one around.
You used to.
It's gotta be done in public.
Yep.
Did you recuse, sir?
For the applications, yes, because I applied.
Oh.
Didn't you play with us before, sir?
Yes, it did. I have applied for this position before, and previously, you all seemed to like my information quite a bit, but minimum wage wasn't enough. I hope that you guys have done something about that.
We had talked about bumping that up because the wages were above, well, a little above minimum wage.
Well, the last time I was in here, and where was myself and another candidate, I offered to do this job with almost 30 years of experience and intimate knowledge of everything folks have done. I can guarantee you that you're gonna pay $250, $200 just to have somebody travel out here and take a look at that sink. I could probably fix it in half an hour, crash it. But, you folks decided to go with the cheaper option. You hire the minimum wage job. Where I stood my ground and I said, no, can't do that, I got a family to eat. That fellow lasted all of a week, and I had to teach him how to turn off the water heater. You folks are suffering from a lack of professional. I would like to do the job, that could be very beneficial to your community.
How much
You
do you
cannot work with what you do.
What you,
You're making $25 an hour now, I'm willing to take a small pay cut to service my community, because I like it here. I like this town. I'm from a big city. I was raised in Brooklyn. I'm from a place where you don't look up past your shoes, because you don't wanna make eye contact with people, because you don't wanna be drawn into whatever it is that they might be dealing with today. I like it here. Life is simple, it's beautiful. I'd like to help.
So what would you, start at? What would you want to start at?
Well, like I said, I make $25 an hour now, if you could match that, I can start tomorrow. But I don't see that happening. Vernon has a very good idea. If you guys would make me an offer with the house, I would gladly take it. And I would make a lot of things much cheaper in this town, the repairs.
Is there a house for Marshall owned, or is it,
The wife doesn't need it, but since there hasn't been anybody in there, I need to be somebody in there, it's gonna just sit there.
And I'm in for the job.
it's up to the board, what you wanna do.
Who else are we at,
Go for it. Go for it.
You know, a couple of things that aren't on that application. I have over 1,000 hours logged on over 5,000 different machines for heavy equipment, from gantry cranes to bulldozers and bobcats. I'm intimately familiar with all the heavy different kind of building code, electrical code, fire code, safety code, all the kinds of codes you could think of. I speak 3 languages.
Yeah.
I do not have a CDL, but I have a very clean driving record and can get one very easily. 0 criminal history and a good credit score.
And so you have plenty of experience in, like, water, like you said, like gas,
Water, gas,
you want to
plumbing,
run
electrical,
big
yeah.
equipment.
That's what he just said.
And so if we had they called you in the middle of the night with a water leak, what would you
Fix that water.
do? And if you got called in the middle of the night for something else, which would you, like, how would you prioritize?
It depends on the severity of the issue. If one is going to cause a fire hazard, and the other is going to just cause a little bit of wood damage, I'm gonna go fix the fire hazard. If it's an electrical problem versus, bad water problem, those are 2 equally problematic issues. That's out of order for a water filter can be contaminants. Our electrical issue could cause fire. It depends on what buildings have an electrical problem. Is it an empty residence? If it's an empty residence, then the water filtration issue would take precedence by far. It's a matter of importance and severity of the issue.
Thank you.
He said that if you go into the house and the price or his salary would be, correct? There's how many, I can't remember how many bedrooms are in that house. 3? 2, 3?
I've looked at the house, I've seen it, it's acceptable.
How many kids you got?
2.
Doesn't it currently have a water issue?
I'm sorry?
Oh, the meter, it's just a meter, the meter needs to be changed out there. But it has
Any
to
other
be
issues that need to be done to the place, I've been building homes for almost 30 years. I can fix it.
So what would you, start at if we would let you have the home?
22. But I am negotiable to a degree.
Just so the board is aware, you can negotiate a contract. You have to notice it, but you can negotiate a contract in private, because you are talking about town assets and money. Now, once it's negotiated, you have to come out and make a public decision, so that everybody knows what happened. But we don't have to negotiate in front of everybody, especially when we're talking about real property and hourly rates. If you like, if you want to make the higher you can, then you can negotiate in private, because it does have to do with town assets and a private contract. But then again, once the decision's made, you have to have it on record. So, and I would suggest not making a decision that would encumber a piece of real property.
No.
Just
I
off
agree.
the top.
I agree. So we'll take that into consideration and see what we can come up with, and certainly get back to you.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for coming in. Mr. Forrest. Why do you want to work for the town, Mr. Forrest?
Well, I've seen, I can be fired. I see how the roads are, how everything is becoming, and these citizens are right. It needs to be addressed, it needs to be done, we need to get somebody in here that can make a change. I'm start getting some of this stuff done. I mean, I've got experience on machines, years of experience on machines. I've been driving for over 24 years, CDL Class A. You guys have seen me actually work. I've already been doing the chores. I've already been helping the ladies out.
What kind of wage are you expecting?
What I'm at least making now.
What are we making?
I believe that minimum wage is 21.65. 2010, or no, crew leader,
Oh, yeah.
21.95.
So at least 22.
You know, if you hired, you got to resign from the council.
And I resign immediately. You guys any more, or?
He already gave us his experience. Same questions you did about problem solving.
Well, gas leak, water leak, I mean, they prioritize it to get called in the middle of the night, gotta go, or at least get it turned off or assessed till the early morning light. I mean, a lot of, what's that word, safety hazards that happen like that in the middle of the night and stuff, so. And as far as electrical and stuff like that, that's not our department.
You'd be willing to go ahead and take your test for water, sewer, gas.
I've had that once before, yes, and I'll do it again. That was the thing I did, I worked for this town before, I think I marked down in 03 or somewhere in there. And I did have my water license, I did have my sewer license.
It's up to council.
And I am aware of the system. I know I'm gonna have to learn some more, but all the new updates and everything. But that's up to you guys, that's why I sat out here.
What's up, what's up?
Okay. Any more questions?
Anyone else got questions? Thank you, Joe. Go ahead. Discussion on it, on both parties.
You know, when it comes down to experience, Joe's got it.
I agree.
I mean,
Well, you know we're gonna have to hire two, because it's hard on one person, and, you know, if we can get through it. This other issue with the home and salary, like I say, we'll have to work that out, and then,
we'll have to have some discussion about that.
so. Yeah.
We need two utility workers, we have
Two.
two openings. Yeah, water and the gas guy.
Thanks,
We don't
John.
have either one right now.
You know, probably we'll have. We need somebody to run the blade, you know, snow's gonna be coming, we're gonna need somebody to go ahead and, you know, with a truck and remove snow. The daily chores, if there's any issues with any grades and stuff like that, you know, water, gas. I mean, we have Walsman come in from gas, or, Mike, and then come in with the water.
And make a motion that we hire Joe for us.
I second.
Roll call.
Yeah, we need a motion to hire Joe. I didn't get Joe's. The only one I got was Mr. Thunderbird, I don't know.
Who's Joe Children?
That's why I was asking earlier.
Joe Jones' name.
He's the one who pulled out, this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
I talked to him this morning.
That's what I was asking for earlier.
Oh.
So so since there's a motion and I seconded it, then we do roll call, and then are we gonna decide on wage at the same time?
Well, what we'll do is,
Well, Joe said he agreed with the 22, and I'm good with that.
if that's good for everyone else.
You good with that, Joe?
Yes, sir.
And this guy, we can hire him on.
Yeah,
Well,
we
then
gotta
just-
determine that.
Just like make them both in a motion for both guys. Yeah, or second.
You gotta finish that.
Okay.
There's gotta be some discussion about that.
Right, so you guys do have a motion on it, we gotta.
Yeah, we got a motion on the table.
Yeah, John, hiring Joe.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Gianna,
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez,
Yes.
and Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Do we need a motion on the other guy?
I don't know how to word it, I mean, we need to.
The wording would be, if you wanted to hire them, just hire them subject to negotiations.
Yeah.
And then I would just suggest that you take a committee of 2 people and work with them to come up with what you could do for a contract if you wanted to hire them. Because the house, and I will say this is important for the board to understand, there's a rule now that, we're gonna have to start looking at affordable housing. Because you already own that property, if you were to subject it to, like an AMI percentage and give it to an employee, we would be checking the box on state requirements for affordable housing as well. So, but it's something that should be discussed, and, negotiated, obviously, and then discussed, in private with the house, and then, of course, we'll put it on public record with the decision, but, so my suggestion is if you do want to hire Mr. Funderburg, right, then we would do it just subject to negotiations.
I'm very impressed that you got it right.
Yeah, I'm good with that, but, it certainly needs to be discussed. So, I'll make a motion that we hire him, based on, negotiation. If the house comes into play, or
House and pay.
house and pay, right?
Second?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Gianna,
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes. All right. On the new business, a new flagpole for in front of town hall.
I sit back down and,
No, you haven't.
You haven't started yet?
You haven't written
That
a
was on
resignation yet.
Oh, we have the computer printer quote for cameras.
That's one I told that we were gonna
Table?
take off, because he's the one that was gonna do the water tanks, the cameras and everything in there. He had already given us all that, and what he did is turn in how much it would cost. So that's what that.
Bob, do you have any input about the flagpole?
I gave it to Sarah, and I don't know what.
We have it here.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I thought I saw something, but I didn't know, I know they were down there.
Yeah, 'cause you got 3 separate bids for a flagpole in front of town hall.
Find anything on eBay, huh?
You can find the new picture.
Look out.
We have one for $46.99, You have another one for $79.99.
Bob, can I ask you, how much research did you do on it? I mean, do you have a preference or, I
The
mean,
one that I gave you is the cheapest one that I could find, and it's a sectional. It's not one that you put up and it stays up. You know, it's a sectional where you can bring it down anytime you want.
yeah, that's the kind I have in my office.
Yeah.
You got 3 pieces of stuff?
Yeah, yeah, mine has three.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got a button, you release it and get it done.
Right. I think that's the one.
Telescope.
Yeah.
Oh, telescope.
Is it to replace the one here, or?
Yeah, that other one that we have up there now, the cable is messed up on it, you know, for them to try to, raise and lower the flag, it gets stuck up in there. It's basically two pieces of pipe welded together and up there. So yeah, it makes us, they're doing, you know, doing all that other work in front, might as well.
Might as well upgrade.
Yeah.
I mentioned that, I don't know if you guys decided on where this flagpole is going, but before they pour that concrete in, they gotta put in a base pipe, so they could push the flagpole into it. So that's before they do that.
Yeah, cause that's gotta be on, entering the building has to be on the right side,
Okay?
you know, the American flag. I mean, that's what I've always thought.
Okay.
So,
Now, those telescope, flagpoles can have issues with identity.
Yeah, but it's gonna be protected on that side.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Because it's going down the right side as it's going.
Yeah, cause those sections can be, an issue.
Steve, do you think it would be right there on the right side?
well, the way they're building that ramp, the ramp's coming out, and then you're gonna have this section right in here with the dirt, you know, closer to the building, so they can put it like right in there.
Not where it was, right?
No, you
That was on the
don't.
left side.
You don't, if you look at the building,
You're
it's on
saying,
the left.
you're saying,
On the right, just, you know, on the other side of the ramp.
yeah. So,
We got this one.
Yeah, you gotta pick whatever one you want, like I say, 46, 79, and 61.
well, not because it's the cheaper one, but it's the one that extends, it's a sectional. It happens to be the cheaper one, but
Okay, one of the reasons I thought about a sectional is because that light that's gonna be up on the top, it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
You gotta bring it down and change the battery, and then put it back up.
Yeah.
And that's the 46.99 one?
yeah.
Because the light?
The put light on.
Okay.
But the $79 one's heavy duty.
But it's solid, you know,
How are you gonna get up
I didn't bring it down.
huh?
Yeah, if anything goes wrong.
Well, it's up to council, which one you want.
61.99 is one you got? That's a sectional flag.
Which one is?
61.
Sectional.
And it's 5 feet short.
Oh, it says
But it's a
25 feet,
20-footer.
61.99.
Is that short?
It says in the circle on that one page, it says 25 feet is 61.99.
Oh, yeah.
On the 20-foot
They got a
section.
25 footer also.
And it's sectional?
Yep,
Oh, I got it.
yeah, 'cause it's cheaper, but there again, I'm wondering.
That's gotta be similar to the one I had, and I had it for probably 20 years.
And you have one,
And
and
it still works.
it's at your place.
I'll make a motion that we go with 46.99, 25 foot aluminum sectional, black bolt kit. And here,
I would second it.
Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
No correspondence. Approval of the bills.
Yeah, the employees for not here. So supplies, for the work stuff on.
Me too, Gail.
Right. Approval, pay the bills.
Just a minute.
I know.
I thought looking at that.
Motion to pay the bills. Second.
Yes.
Hi, Deborah.
Yes.
Adjourn. Bunch of people had already left. There's Vern. We'll take a walk out here.
We'll be looking forward to watching the show.
Oh, it's gonna be a good one.
Well, the one today was good that he and John put on. It was good.
Oh, it was a very good show today, but we're going to elaborate considering is how we weren't acknowledged.
Good point. Good point.
We weren't acknowledged. We're not being acknowledged.
I could have told you too. You got the stink eye from Vicky.
Oh,
Multiple times.
Mama Vicky's not happy with us. No,
So you might want to mention her in there.
I caught her on here. I caught her recording, and oh yeah, I caught all the little eye rolls from Tyra and the whole blank face from Donald, and yeah, I caught it all. It's gonna be a great show. Have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Oh man. You have the Stephanie and everybody over here. So if you're jumping in late, Vern, David Gully got to speak. Sue got to speak. Robert got to speak. So they got to speak tonight. Now, if any of their concerns were actually acknowledged, that's up to you guys to decide on if any of their concerns was actually acknowledged. I don't know, kind of crazy night. 2 hour meeting. 2 hour meeting. It was crazy.
That's their election.
All that fell on her.
Yeah, she has derelicated her duty way too much.
Yep, and that is sad.
Well,
Absolutely sad.
everybody, I have work in the morning. I still have an hour drive home. There will definitely be a show this weekend. Definitely be a show this weekend. Lots to talk about with this meeting. So stay tuned for Saturday. Maybe Monday. Possibly Monday. So thank you for coming in, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the thumbs up. Really appreciate everybody. We'll catch you on the next show.